Business Bites with Chauhan.
Tooting Market, the largest indoor market in London, has been humming with a distinct new vibe of late. There's been a makeover, or is that a takeover, of trendy bars, boutiques, pop-ups and restaurants. It's been variously described as the new Shoreditch for hipsters, and from this month, there's a reason for them to come down south of the river, because Tooting Market will be open till 10:30pm on Friday and Saturday nights. And what's more, the area around Tooting Broadway is set to receive up to £5 million from the Mayor of London and Transport for London for major street improvements and pedestrian safety. So now there's no reason not to visit Tooting. And according to the council's website, the works will be finished in April 2018. But that hasn't deterred enterprising pop-up events and wine merchants Kiki Evans and Laura Ward of UnWined, who in their bid to remove the posh out of the Pinot Noir are the latest traders to sell their bottled wares in Tooting Market. Here's Kiki, one half of the quirky duo at UnWined. So I'm here with Kiki, who's one of the owners of UnWined in Tooting Market. Hi Kiki, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm not so bad. So this is a brand new pop-up in Tooting Market.
We're actually going to be here permanently now. We do have a background as being a pop-up. Our pop-up was called a Grape Night In, and we hosted wine events basically all around southwest London, but really featuring quirky grape varieties, unknown regions, things which are a little bit different from smaller producers.
So how did you guys decide to start up pop-ups? Is it something you fell into, or was this always a grand plan?
It was a little bit of a falling into. I have to give credit to my business partner Laura for coming up with the idea of a Grape Night In. The idea was that we could host wine events in people's homes, wine tastings, particularly when the recession hit. People were staying in more, not going out so much, and that was the original idea. But quite quickly after we started starting the business, we realized we needed to get out there so that people actually knew we existed. And so we hosted pop-up events in some existing bars and restaurants as well as empty spaces. So we started the pop-up, sort of public pop-up side of things quite quickly as well.
And when you went to existing bars and restaurants about doing this sort of event, how open were they to the idea? Was it, you mentioned during that time as the recession hit, were they just looking to do something different?
I think the businesses that we approached had customers similar to what we were looking for, but potentially not able to offer what we could offer. So, for example, one of the businesses we approached was a cocktail bar in Brixton. So they obviously had their expertise for the cocktails, but their customers are interested in different drinks and different inventions of cocktails and wines and beers and everything. So it was kind of beneficial for both parties because it meant that they could offer something different for their customers, as well as we had access to a new audience as well. So it generally was quite beneficial to both parties.
And now that you've found yourselves a home, are you happier here, or do you still miss the pop-up days?
By getting a permanent space, we were very conscious about, we didn't want to get into sort of too much of a routine or too sort of sedate in our ways. So we do really have quite a pop-up feel to what we're doing still. It's quite a rustic space, but we also invite a different pop-up chef to come in every month and take over the kitchen. So every month we change our wine list. We feature 8 wines every month. We hand that over to the chefs, and they might come from loads of different cuisines, and they create a menu alongside our wines. So it's still got that whole changing, evolving, every couple of weeks something's different, so which is what we really love. So now we do have a permanent home that we can sort of store everything here, we can operate from here, but we still have that feel of a pop-up that nothing gets too boring too quickly.
So how easy is it to find a chef that will be suitable for the theme you have for your month, and how do you decide on your themes?
So our themes are quite quirky. They're really out there. For example, this month our wines have been inspired by superheroes. So all of our wines have got superpowers. So obviously with food that's a little bit hard to pair with. But essentially we've met so many different pop-up chefs over the years that are looking for different spaces, looking for new opportunities. So now is actually a chance that we get to work with them in our space. So the food is going to be from all different kinds of cuisines, but generally everything is quite seasonal, so it fits in that kind of way, and naturally our wines will be quite seasonally chosen as well.
Can you give us an example of what's on the menu in the superheroes menu?
Oh, in the wines? Yeah, sure. So we have a wine which is from an immortal grape called Pecorino, which basically they thought that the grape was extinct, but a few winemakers found some wild plantings of it and now starting to bring it back and revive it. So it never actually died out completely. There was a little bit of it hanging on, and it is the immortal grape.
Let me turn to the business side of things. We were talking earlier about how you went on this course or workshop by Lambeth Council about branding.
So when we sort of had the idea that we wanted to start the business, Laura actually had this absolute urge that she wanted to go travelling through America. So she went and did that. And while she was away, I found that Lambeth Council had, I guess, a competition to be part of a series of workshops called Brand Amplify, which is specifically targeted towards women, female entrepreneurs just starting out their businesses. And that was a real catalyst for us. We got shortlisted to 15 out of 70 businesses, which we hadn't even started, so we were just by having that straight off we started to get the confidence that we could actually run this business, but they helped us sort of start thinking about how to market our business, how to get it out there, all about the branding, as you're saying. So they made us make business cards, get a Twitter account, start all those things, and all of a sudden it started actually feeling like it was coming alive. There was something to it, and just by having someone kind of push us a little bit, we didn't have a business plan or anything at that stage, but just that little bit of support and push from an outsider basically helped us really to get started with the business.
So would you say it's important to have a mentor or a business advisor when you're trying to start a business or develop ideas about a business?
Yes, absolutely. I think a mentor or a business advisor is particularly important when you're starting out. First of all, because it's not a friend or family who are very happy to say yes, that's a great idea. It's a third, someone outside of your circle that gives you independent advice, which is brilliant when you're first starting out. But for us, it was not so much a formal sense where it was like we had deadlines and we kind of had to really had a schedule that we had to go to. It really fit with us, but it just gave us the confidence that we actually had a good idea.
And going forward with the business, are you simply experimenting, or have you got sort of an outline of what you're going to achieve in the next 6 months or next 18 months, 3 years, like you would be asked in Dragon's Den or something like that?
Yeah, that's always the scary question, what you want to do in 6 months, 12 months, 3 years time. Yeah. But our business has definitely grown organically. We haven't necessarily pushed it in one direction or another because we weren't really sure how it was going to work. So we've really taken feedback from our customers and what they have asked for and what their sort of demand has been. We've kind of come up with that as a solution and an offering for them.
So how do you do that? So do you have an avenue for them to provide feedback, or you just constantly having conversations?
We're constantly having conversations with our customers, finding out what were their favourite bits, what they didn't like so much. With our private events, we do also always send a feedback form the next day, and 9.5 times out of 10 people will respond, and will respond with positive comments, but also there might sometimes be some constructive criticism as well, which for us it has been absolutely amazing, is getting that actual direct feedback from our customers, not just sort of TripAdvisor markings or anything. It's like that direct personal contact.
And are you surprised personally at how you've taken to managing your own business, or is it quite exciting, or do you miss the days when you were an employee in the hospitality, or is this the best decision you've ever made? I think I know the answer to that.
I think most people will probably answer that working for themselves is the best thing that they've ever done. It is quite scary. It takes quite a bit of nerves to get there, but that's where we kind of mitigated ourselves a little bit by starting our business while I still had part-time jobs. And when we kind of got to the point where we were at maximum capacity, then when we knew that there was a future and that there was income coming in, that's when we could leave our jobs and focus full-time on the business.
What kind of financial commitment did you have to put into the business, or was that just through the events that you were doing at the time which was contributing to the business?
With a Grape Night In and our pop-ups initially, we didn't have any investment. I think we bought about £100 worth of wine glasses, that was it. And our business model was always on the idea that people have to pay up front. So whether it's a private event, they'll be paying for that up front, and then we'll go and buy the wine stock. If it's a ticketed event, they buy the tickets first, and then we're hosting the event afterwards. So there was always cash flow coming in before the event actually started. In terms of UnWined now, being a permanent premises, we have had to invest some money ourselves. We also had a Kickstarter campaign, which the locals really got behind us, as well as family and friends, which helped kind of put those extra little touches on.
How much did you raise for the Kickstarter in funder?
For the Kickstarter, we were aiming for £5,000, but we actually raised almost £9,000 in the end, so we were really excited.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so in the bar now we have a picture of a tree which has got everyone's names on it who supported us, so that's our family tree, we call it.
And that was within the 1 month period, is it?
Yeah, we just did it in 30 days. We actually hit our target in 2 weeks, so that was absolutely fantastic, and we had a bit of a last minute extra big bonus coming from someone, which we were really, that was like the 11th hour, and it was amazing.
And in terms of getting the Kickstarter campaign out, was that just a lot of social media going on, or was it through your lists of people that you worked or did business with, provided a service for before?
A bit of both. We've definitely built up a following and a customer base over the years by being a pop-up, and a lot of those people, our regulars from the previous years, have supported us. But also through social media, there are a lot of people from the Tooting area that specifically, and Wandsworth, that really supported us because they thought that this business would work here, and it's been so exciting to meet new customers basically through our Kickstarter campaign. But I think one thing that a lot of people have commented on our Kickstarter campaign was that it was very personal. It was about us and about our journey, but also that we did think very carefully about what we could offer our supporters and our customers, and that's what makes us quite a unique business.
Did you always want to be in Tooting, or was it because this was the right environment for your business?
We've wanted to be in Tooting for about 12 months. It was really only 12 months ago that we started thinking about getting a permanent premises, and we did actually do a little bit of a recce of southwest London, and just Tooting felt like home for us, so we knew that we wanted to be in Tooting. But we always said that we wanted quite an unusual or different location for our wine bar, and so when we heard that there was potentially some units coming available in Tooting Market, we sort of approached them and said we might be interested in taking something, and when something came up, we sort of jumped at the opportunity. And people still today kind of say, why is there a wine bar in Tooting Market? It seems like it's an odd location, but that's exactly what we were after. We wanted to be a little bit hidden away, a little bit something that you had to find, but quite a nice little thing when you found it.
In terms of the different outlets, you feel one side is catering to a certain socio-economic group, and then there's restaurants and bars like yours, which is obviously a bit more aspirational in terms of the kind of people who want to like spend time drinking wine and hanging out here. How do you find the mix here?
We've come from working in loads of different restaurants through London and quite a lot in the city as well, and we love wine, but wine definitely has this kind of poncy, posh side to it, and if you meet us, we're definitely not that. So I think we've always wanted to make wine a little bit more fun and approachable and not so serious and stuck up, hence why our monthly themes, our sort of reasonable pricing. We've always wanted just to sort of break down those barriers and get people enjoying wine again and not just sort of being too serious about it. I mean, we love Tooting and we love the eclectic mix that there is around. I mean, we live locally, so we kind of know the area quite well. We know that there's, loads of amazing BYO restaurants around, and so we really did feel that there was a place for an independent wine shop in Tooting. The mix that we get is, like all of our events, it's from some 20-year-olds right through to 80-year-olds. It's young parents with mums with babies in the prams, right through to young professionals who are just don't really know a lot about wine, but just starting to sort of get into it. We have an absolute mix of everyone, and that's what we love about our business and love about Tooting. So it's totally where we want to be.
And so are you happy to be based here for now, or would you see yourselves doing more outlets in other markets?
It's funny because we had a very quick build. We built and basically moved in 2 weeks. It was absolutely crazy, but pretty much straight after we already said, where's UnWined 2 going to be? So it is a bit of a funny one that now that we've got one, we're already thinking about the second. But yeah, I think we do have the idea that we'd like to have another one, whether it's in London, somewhere else in the UK, in another country. Don't know yet, but there's definitely plans for a future.
Are you saying that you're probably in a kind of similar environment just to make sure that you're consistent with the theme of like in a market type environment, or does it matter?
It's always going to be in a quirky location, so whether it's a market or it's a disused warehouse or some other place that we haven't even thought of yet, there will always be something a little bit unique about it. But we absolutely love working in the market and getting to know all the different traders that are here, and we all kind of collaborate and get together, so it's a brilliant environment to work in and to have a business in, so we're really happy being in a market.
That's great. Thank you very much, Kiki. That was Kiki Evans, co-owner of UnWined. If you would like to sample their wines, pop along to Tooting Market or check out what their theme for September is on their website at www.agrapenightin.co.uk. Next up is networking and personal branding expert Heather White.
Business Bites with Chauhan.